There is a certain simplicity to each protagonist from Mel Gibson's films. Each of them are pure. This seems to give each of them a saint-like devotion to a single ideal. William Wallace in Braveheart is devoted to his people's freedom. Jesus Christ in The Passion of the Christ to humanity's salvation. Jaguar Paw in Apocalypto is trying to save his family. And finally, Desmond of Hacksaw Ridge is trying to honor both his country and his beliefs. It is never the lead who possesses any tragic flaw or even much complexity, but rather those characters whose lives are affected and changed by the hero of the story. The only complexities come from the hero having to choose how best to honor their ideal. Gibson often displays both figuratively and literally a Christ-like sacrifice in his films, or at the very least, a willingness to do so. There is no subtlety to the themes, and with these stories, why should there be? Instead, Gibson is trying to show us characters who are willing to do whatever it takes. That purity I mentioned earlier gives us characters who emit bravery and selflessness, the kind that we wish we could have. His films aim to inspire on this front. Despite what one may think about Mel Gibson personally, what cannot be ignored is the man's incredible directing talent. It has spanned nearly 25 years, earned $1.1 billion in worldwide ticket sales, awarded him 2 Oscars, including Best Picture and Director for Braveheart, and now in 2017, another Best Director nomination for 2016's Hacksaw Ridge. Passion of the Christ uses the most famous act of sacrifice to teach audiences about this perseverance. But there is a moment within Braveheart where Mel Gibson, sharing both directing and lead acting roles, displays for us, in an equally pure sense and narratively speaking, a more effective example of a character with the desire to do whatever it takes. This is a scene that has been parodied to no end, but I think this is because it simply resonates with people. We all believe in something, but greater still, according to Gibson's films, is to have something worth believing in, and that to the very end.
But it gives us all hope, I think, that if we can see someone who behaves like an ordinary man in hideous circumstances doing extraordinary things, I think it speaks to me, speaks to my soul, and hopefully to others, you know. So I think it's a story worth telling. If you're going to spend 18 months on something, it better be worthwhile.
Gibson's lead characters are never given the easy way out. They each, by choice and by circumstance, are brought to the very brink. The drama is never light, the burden is never easy, but the protagonist, he never gives in. My favorite of Gibson's films is Apocalypto. I would encourage you to explore this mighty piece of historical filmmaking, which at its core is a simple story of survival within a terrifying world. As with all of Gibson's films, you empathize with these characters effortlessly. You cheer with each victory, and you gasp with each defeat, because we all want a hero to win, and we all want a hero to believe in. As with many directors, there is a common thread sewn between each of their films. This Oscar season, we will be dissecting the themes within the films spanning the careers of 3 of this year's list of nominated directors. And don't miss the Luke and Jake Movie Podcast, live streaming on Oscar night, Sunday, February 26th, here on Movi.
Thanks for watching Movi.